Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. Folks, we got lots of big news to talk about, major updates with the crypto market structure bill, Bitcoin is dumping, and much more. So you don't want to miss this. Make sure you watch and listen to the end. Okay, let's start with Bitcoin, currently trading below $82,000. The exact price is $81,887. So this should come as no surprise. Folks, over the past 3 to 4 weeks, I've been sharing the Wyckoff accumulation chart and the model that's been shared by user Marty Party on X. And we've been talking about this thing could go lower. We could see a double bottom where we're retesting the lows from November. And it looks like that's what's setting up here. And the confirmation behind that is that Bitcoin is in the oversold zone. The RSI in the daily chart is at 30. In addition, we've been looking at the Bitcoin to gold ratio chart, and that is bottoming out. Not to mention the 2-year rolling MVRV Z score is the lowest it has ever been, lower than 2022 with the FTX crash. So you're seeing some incredible bottoming signals here. There's fear sentiment in the market, yet you have bullish catalysts out there, such as the crypto market structure bill and much more. So I believe a bounce is coming, following that Wyckoff accumulation model. The big question I've been sharing with you all, the two scenarios, is this simply a move to $104,000, $105,000, then we roll over and go into a bear market low, or the continuation of the bull market where we have that blow off top. Now, there are a lot of bearish signals on the charts, right? But there are also some bullish. The macro is definitely bullish because we're in quantitative easing. Liquidity is rising. Other assets like precious metals, the stock market, and much more are moving, but crypto seems stuck. So this is where I believe crypto will catch up. I believe there will be a rotation away from gold. And if you look at gold's chart, this is just the data now. It has gone parabolic. It is extremely overbought. This is per the charts now. So we could see a very strong pullback. Now, is that simply a local top that's going to form or the blow off top for gold? We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see because it has been going crazy. You got silver hitting new all-time highs, even copper and palladium. All the metals are moving. And I believe once they cool down, whether once again, local top or blow off top, rotation liquidity to the stock market and crypto. And the bull case for Bitcoin is a move to 140K. And of course, altcoins will follow. This would be the ideal scenario. If you're simply an altcoin holder, you want to see this, right? But there's no guarantee it happens. So that's why I'm giving you multiple scenarios, and we're going to have to be patient and see how this all plays out. If people are not sharing multiple scenarios with you, they're doing a disservice to you. And if they are so adamant that they know what exactly is going to happen next, please ask them for the winning lottery numbers next week so we can go play the lottery and make money that way, right? But at this point, you can't definitively say, this is a bull market or this is a bear market. It's kind of wait and see because the structure is still intact. And, as long as Bitcoin holds these structures, then it can bounce and go to new highs. But again, this cycle has been different. You got a lot of different catalysts and headwinds and things that really threw us a curveball, like tariffs, right? The big dump that happened in the beginning of 2025, like Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high before the halving, like Bitcoin in its year after the halving, ending the year red when it usually ends in green. These are facts. They're not disputable. So we have to look at it with those things in mind and say, you know what, if those things are different, very different cycle, it could be that the bounce is coming to new highs, or again, just simply a retrace and re-roll over into the lows. And the other factor I shared, and actually Brian from Santiment, we did a video earlier this week where we talked about this. Bitcoin whales have been slowly accumulating. So similar pattern to what we've seen throughout this bull market. And retail, they were accumulating a lot, but now they're starting to slow down. And maybe this price pullback and maybe a pull down to 78K or whatever to test those lows in November is what drives retail down. They get into the fear mode while whales keep accumulating, and then we know what follows that, massive pumps. So this is just the data. I'm just simply sharing the data here, and I'm going to be doing a newsletter write-up tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe to the newsletter where I put these charts and the data points in there so that you can review them directly, guys. So we're going to have to be patient and see how things play out. Here's what macro investor Raoul Pal had to say regarding what's happening. He says, everyone in crypto now says we can't have nice things like NASDAQ, gold, silver, copper, and EM ripping higher. He shared a chart and said, this is the divergence versus the NASDAQ. It barely registers. 2020 had something similar. So the chart compares the NASDAQ 100 versus Bitcoin, and they've generally moved in conjunction because the NASDAQ covers tech, right? And Bitcoin, obviously, you can categorize it as a technology stock in a way. I'm not saying it is, just you can, make that correlation, the closest thing in the stock market to it. So he's essentially saying the thesis has not changed. It's just you have the broken 4-year cycle and this thing is following liquidity, which is now starting to catch up. He also said the gap in Bitcoin versus the GMI global total liquidity barely registers, but we saw similar in 2015 and 2020. There is nothing abnormal about this current disconnect. Liquidity is rising. All you require is patience and the market should catch up in time. So I tend to agree with this because it's backed by the data, right? The liquidity, again, I talked about Fed doing QE, M2 for many of these major countries are rising, Japan's doing stimulus and much more. So I do believe crypto will catch up, but I could be wrong. I have no problem in saying I'm wrong because I'm also not saying, hey, I know definitively what's going to happen tomorrow and next. Come on, right? Again, if I knew that, I would have a time machine or a crystal ball. And again, I would go play the lottery. I wouldn't be in the market investing. So I hope you guys understand I'm being very transparent and reasonable here. And that's what we have to be. And there are differences in this cycle. You can't just say, oh, it's just like 2022. It's just like 20. No, it's not. When did Bitcoin hit a new all-time high before the halving? Never did. When did Bitcoin, after the year after the halving, end the year in the red? It never did that. So things are different this time around. Now look at this. President Trump says he'll be announcing the new Federal Reserve chair tomorrow morning. So we saw on Polymarket recently, Rick Ryder, CIO BlackRock, was leading, but all of a sudden you have Kevin Warsh. He is now in the lead and he spiked up to 88% per Polymarket. Now he is Bitcoin and crypto friendly. Obviously, it's not BlackRock, but at the end of the day, whoever goes in there is going to do Trump's bidding. Trump has a crypto agenda. Obviously, he wants rates lower. He wants money printing. He wants crypto to be embraced. So the end goal is still the same here. So let's see. And let's see how the market reacts. It may not do anything tomorrow. It might dump even further because volatility comes anytime there's some sort of Fed announcement, and market makers love to play with people's emotions. So I would wait for the dust to settle to see how this pans out. And a big potential roadblock has been removed. The Senate reached a spending deal to avoid a U.S. government shutdown. This was something we were all concerned about. Would it further disrupt liquidity? Would it delay the crypto market structure bill? Well, this has been resolved. So this is a big headwind and roadblock out of the way. So I think this is bullish, right, folks? Because we saw what happened in Q4 where you had the big dump off the Trump announcement of China tariffs and all that, which he rolled back. And of course, the government shutdown, which delayed a lot of things. So this is very good. Things are looking like they're setting up nicely here with the market bottoming out soon and all that, and then start moving. And I believe a ton of Bitcoin options expire tomorrow. So all these things could be very good. Folks, this episode is brought to you by VeChain, which is one of the top layer 1 enterprise blockchains out there, which is getting huge adoption by companies around the globe who are building incredible Web3 technologies. I've been a VET token holder since 2018. I'm very bullish on this project, and they're partnering with Dana White in the UFC. Dana White last year said he bought $1 million in VET token. They're also working with Walmart, BMW, PwC, Boston Consulting Group, and many others. And some of the great features of the VeChain blockchain includes it's scalable, secure, fast, compliant, and purpose-led. And they're using their ecosystem and blockchain technology to build really cool reward programs like VBetter and much more, where it rewards people for doing things. And with the VET token, you can stake via Stargate. So if you'd like to learn more about VeChain, go to vechain.org. Link will be in the description. Okay, folks, we got a big win today for the Clarity Act. So the Senate Agriculture Committee passed its portion of the Clarity Act out of the committee 12-11 party line vote with no Democrats voting in favor. So a couple things. definitely we're seeing progress, right? The sausage making process is ugly, but it is what it is. This is how it happens. The Democrats really did not vote for this because of the Trump conflict of interest items. I don't know how that will affect future votes in other committees within the Senate. We're going to have to wait and see, but it's great that this bill is moving forward. So we are seeing progress here, which is very, very good. Now, a bunch of the folks in the industry weighed in on this, and I want to share what they had to say. So, White House crypto czar David Sachs said, with today's vote to advance crypto market structure legislation out the Senate Agriculture Committee, we are one step closer to establishing the necessary regulatory framework to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. Thank you to Chairman John Boozman, as well as his staff, for their leadership throughout this process. While the vote was partisan, a number of Democrat members stated their commitment to passing this important legislation. We will continue to work with them on a bipartisan basis to achieve that goal. So again, things are moving ahead nicely here, and this is what we want to see. So Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, said, really important step forward today on market structure legislation, with the Senate Agriculture Committee passing its portion of the bill. Thanks to Chairman John Boozman for his leadership, or your leadership, Senator Cory Booker for ultimately helping America to get comprehensive bipartisan crypto bill across the finish line. Now, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse also weighed in, saying the last couple of weeks have been an absolute firestorm of action to get the market structure bill passed. While the U.S. Senate Banking Committee clears its logjam, thank you to Senator Tim Scott, congrats are in order to Senate Agriculture GOP Chairman John Boozman for advancing the Senate Agriculture Committee's market structure bill out of the committee today. He says, as I've said before, clarity is better than chaos. The legislative process can be messy and complex, but it's 100% necessary to have clarity for this and future generations of crypto entrepreneurs, builders, and users as this technology becomes increasingly ingrained into our global financial infrastructure. So, guys, things are looking good. It looks like this bill, with no government shutdown happening, could definitely get passed by the end of Q1, end of March, obviously, right? So very, very good. Now, there is a lot happening on the SEC and CFTC fronts. So today, SEC Chair Paul Atkins and new CFTC Chair Mike Seelig held a joint event where they talked about working together on crypto, and they have, or they said they are expecting to sign an agreement on crypto oversight. So here's what Mike Seelig tweeted out. He says, I'm pleased to announce that the CFTC is partnering with the SEC on Project Crypto, bringing coordination, coherence, and unified approach to the federal oversight of crypto asset markets. This is bullish. You got the two agencies, which, in the past have competed against each other, are working together to get legislation, get rules of the road out. And, I recently interviewed Austin Campbell, and I've had him on the pod. He's very, very, very smart guy. And in the interview, one of the things he mentioned was, it's not so much the Clarity Act that's important. While we do need it, it's not so much that needs to get passed. It's the SEC and CFTC need to provide rules because they're the regulatory agencies. They do the majority of the enforcing, right? So even though you may have a bill, the SEC does not give you the details, the fine print, so to speak. Same thing with the CFTC. It's really going to not help. So great to see things are moving ahead here. And in addition, they were both, Mike Seelig and Paul Atkins, on CNBC to talk about crypto. And one of the things that Paul Atkins said, he says, now is the right time to open up the $12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto. So this could be another bullish catalyst. So it could be, once the market structure bill passes, they right away do this because it seems like they have it ready on deck. And that brings in a ton of money into crypto. And that could be a big catalyst, again, that drives Bitcoin and altcoins to a blow off top to new highs. Again, not guaranteed. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm sharing you with the facts that are happening here and the potential scenarios that could play out. So this could be very, very bullish. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to monitor the charts. We're going to monitor the on-chain data. We're going to monitor the macro with legislation, liquidity, and all these things, opening up of major capital coming in from 401ks and all that. So we're going to monitor all these things, guys, as we continue. So make sure you are subscribed if you haven't as yet. You're following on the podcast platforms. You leave a 5-star rating, hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it supports the podcast a lot. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free on Substack. Again, I put a lot of charts and data points in here that you can access anytime. You can bookmark it and go to it. It doesn't cost you anything. Again, and I'm going to be putting out a write-up tomorrow. So make sure, guys, you are subscribed here. And also, if you want to support the podcast, you can also grab a copy of my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And if you want to expand your knowledge around crypto and blockchain tech and much more, check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. So check it out, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, folks, and I'll talk to you all later.